The Planning and Zoning Committee will come to order, please. The roll call, we have everyone here today, so we have a quorum. Pledge of allegiance, please, everyone stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. First business item is approval of the agenda.
Move the agenda.
We have a motion to approve. Are there any seconds?
Second.
Any modifications, any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Um,
Move the minutes.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any changes, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Mr. Lou Kilmer, sir, would you update us?
I'll update you regarding the town council meeting, because the other one, we didn't have a meeting in this month for the non-residential. A couple little things. We set the date, the time for the council election, which will be Saturday, September 11th, from 12 to 6. Anyone wishing to file as a candidate must apply a notice of intention or application for candidacy to the town no later than 4:30 on Wednesday, July 28th. We also appointed a number of new members to the election board and election officers. Unfortunately, I forgot to bring that list with me, but we have a full slate of officers and
Judges.
and election board. It still is Charlie DeBrose and Chris Alma are the two officers, and then there are a number of people who have been here before, and also some new people. We also set the date for the reorganization meeting, which will be Monday, September 20th at 10 a.m. And we also bought a new, actually a used truck for the lifeguards. It was a very good buy. It was a 2013 Chevy Silverado with only 35,000 miles on it for $27,000.
There you go.
So that was a really good buy. Also, the town will be installing 2 EV chargers. I'm sorry, not 2, 3 to 8, right? Is it 3 to 8 chargers? Yeah, up to 8, right? Yeah, up to 8 EV chargers on the east part of town. They will be at, when the meters are up, you have to pay the meter plus,
Whatever.
plus the
You gotta put your credit
electric.
card in the machine.
Yeah,
right?
and I believe we're sharing the revenue between, of the electric between us and also Delmarva. So that's, and also there's a proposal to change the speed limits in all town roads to 15 miles an hour. Our roads are quite narrow. There's a lot of people a lot of parts in the town that don't have sidewalks, and a lot of people are walking in the streets. And we found that the conditions of the roadway and the people driving through town much too fast. And this is one way that we're going to deal with this. We're not actually going out to try to issue tickets. We're just, hopefully people will see the sign and slow down but if they don't, then obviously they're going to be more violent. Yes, John?
Lou, is there flexibility? In other words, can the town reduce the speed limit to 15, like during the summer months, and then in the off-season, it'll be 15 year-round?
Well, John, the problem with that is, we're going to take all the signs up and down?
I'm
Yeah.
just asking the question,
Yeah,
right? Okay.
I would say that the answer to that question would probably be, if there is such a thing, a lax on enforcement during the winter.
Right,
Just pass that word around.
gotcha.
Yeah.
He knows
But,
good
but
word.
I would say, this is still a proposal. It's not, it hasn't come to us directly yet because we know what the cost is and stuff. There's a lot of signs that would change, so.
I just
And
wanted,
that doesn't apply to any of the state roads like 26 or Kent.
just wanted to
one.
know whether I could put my, my chain with the nails on it away to slow down people in front of my house.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea either way.
Yeah, right.
Whether we change them or not, John, I think it's a good idea. Because, John, as you get older, you might actually run over yourself.
Forget
Because,
about it.
because you actually forgot to pick it up. Just a thought, John, just a thought. What's that? No. Oh, I don't think so. 25, yeah, you can't do that, it's state road.
Posted already,
Yeah.
yeah.
Is there anything else I missed?
Are they? Oh, well,
We're
that'd be
hoping.
good, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And we're also still waiting for Denrec to give us the go-ahead of taking care of, that little strip of land that we have by the Bethany Lake area, where it's all the trees are starting to fall in.
Right.
But we actually have to wait to get that approved from Denrec. So I don't know what's taking them so long to do that, because it's not going to cost them any money. But anyway, that's I think I said, that's all the things we did, right? Yeah, that's it.
Good, thank you. Okay,
Oh, I'm sorry, I do have their names. Carol Califf, is that how you say her name? This is for the election board. Denise Follert and Marissa Miller. And the other one, the election board is Charlie McMullen is the chair, Chris Allmiller. The election officer, Susan Evans, Andrea Gowitzki, Jan Kinsella, John Gorham, Carol Califf, Dennis Fowler, and Marissa Miller. So they are the people that are for this next coming election.
Am I going to be able to get security protection from the Bethany Beach Police Department? Like other election officials?
To recount ballots.
This is a local election.
yeah, well, Lou, how many positions are open this year? on that
I think
count?
it's even years 4, odd years 3.
Okay,
And as of right now, no one has applied.
good. Okay, let's ask the general public. All we have is elected officials in our midst, so. We've got nothing on the email. Nope. Anybody have any new business? All right, well, let's get to it. Now, we're going over a lot of this stuff that we're gonna be talking about today is stuff that the census and everything else applies to. So I'm hoping to end by 11 unless we're within a couple seconds of finishing the whole thing, if everybody is agreeable to that. I think I'm going to institute a break on the hour, 5-minute break, because we tend to get wrapped up in it and we'll just go through it. So we'll have a 5-minute break at 10. And with that, let's start. I think, are we on page 15? Is that where we, that's what I had marked. Anybody remember? Oh, and the other, one announcement I'd like to make is that starting next month, these meetings are open meetings. Anybody can attend. We're back in business.
Also, by the way, Connie Holland from the state had retired, so I don't know who her replacement is. This is dealing with the comprehensive plan.
Right.
Mike, I have a question. When we go, even on page 15, we have all this data that needs to be
Pull your
updated.
mic.
What? Oh, okay. We have data that needs to be updated from the 20,
That will be taken care of.
okay, so we don't need to touch those,
No.
any of those numbers as we go
I'll
through.
be in, the Institute of Public Administration of the Delaware, University of Delaware will update all the charts and stuff like this.
Sure, page 15 is same as mine.
Is that what you guys agreed?
Page 15 has
Okay,
like
okay,
the,
yeah.
yeah,
I think
not
the
the Bethany Beach Delaware
pages
map.
might be different on the document that's been in
Okay,
the book.
the written document and these pages are not the
Are
same.
not the same.
Yeah, okay.
So where are we? Page-wise.
I think it might be, let's see what page. 15 and it's 14. That's 15 on the document,
614 in here.
yeah.
Okay.
But I think you might be talking about page 16 then.
Hey, John, you've got, so you're looking at the comprehensive plan that's on the website. We've got the one that's like where it's the working document. Do you want me to put,
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
so how do I do that? All for it.
You?
Yeah, hey,
I'm shocked.
would it be through Bluetooth?
John, you and I can take a break.
Yeah.
You can share here too.
I don't know. I've never done that before.
My daughter taught me all this.
This is a Google, it's like lives in Google Docs. I could share this Google Doc with you
We're going in the back
to
door.
your email if you wanted, and then you could just pull it up from your email.
This thing, and then it's
All right.
That's what my kids do to us all the
But
time.
I'm
Put all these
What's your
notes
email?
in,
not the J.
and I
She tells me
couldn't,
I'm
I couldn't,
using my
I
phone.
couldn't get them to go to the document, you know what I mean?
All right, so if you,
You can see it.
My kids say,
I just.
if you just pull that up and then,
You know what?
yeah.
We don't. That we don't.
I haven't done that yet.
Maybe it'll show up here. My husband has my picture,
Well, it would be a surprise, okay?
but he doesn't understand what the emojis mean.
Ah, the good old days with paper. I love paper.
I'm ready to. One of my daughters got my computer.
You did make me feel good right now.
I only seem technically sophisticated. I still
Well, I'll
draw
tell you
by
what.
hand.
Guess what? Guess what? You actually pull it off.
Yeah, that's right. You just have to nod. I get it.
That's how I do it.
Right, and then Google it.
I'm glad that air came on. It was getting warm.
I think one of my first meetings in this room, it was like the coldest I've ever been, including on top of like a mountain skiing somewhere. So now I always bring like a sweatshirt with me. Never know whether I'll need it.
I bring long sleeves.
Yeah.
While we're waiting, notice how many people are in town these days?
Oh, jeez, it's
It's like
crazy.
unbelievable. It's like, you know, let's get out of the house
Yeah, It's
at all costs.
it's like 4th of July.
It really is. It's incredible.
Just trying to get across the highway.
Yeah,
You have to
I know.
quite a while.
Friday was a holiday now.
That's true. It was a holiday.
What was Friday?
People got done.
It just got made Juneteenth.
Juneteenth.
Yeah, that's
Today.
today, right?
Yesterday.
it was-
It's a federal holiday.
Oh,
So
It
it
was
was-
observed yesterday.
Oh,
Oh,
was
so-
it?
but yeah.
I knew they did. Oh, I didn't realize that.
I left Bethesda at 6:30 yesterday morning,
Right?
and I could watch the traffic building in front of me off of every exit or on-ramp to the Beltway to where there was a backup at the bridge until they opened a third lane going. And it wasn't even 8 o'clock in the morning.
Unbelievable.
Scott sent it to all of us.
It's just,
on
Well,
your
you know
email.
what we can do is, we'll just put one up there and just, we'll find it. Yeah, I was thinking of we're taking it right now.
whatever you need to do. You want to get to settings?
Yeah, like
Oh,
a little screen that pops up with all the
Other than,
volumes.
oh, yeah, jeez. Yeah, other than that, I'm doing great, thank you. And then my Achilles went last summer, and so I'm just sort of,
Where'd it go?
I wish it would go away. Let me tell you, I'm still hobbling for that a little bit.
Have at it.
So tell me, what's the good thing about getting older? I haven't figured this out yet.
Getting older?
Yeah, what?
You're a
I mean,
survivor.
Huh?
You're a survivor.
That's it?
That's about it, yeah.
Oh,
The
Lord.
right way, yeah.
Your give a darn factor goes way down. You know,
There you go, yeah.
you just, why worry about this?
Yeah.
You know?
75 over and I said, can I buy you a drink?
You guys are really selling this.
What's that?
You're really selling this for me, this getting older thing.
I think because I just be able to lift my bag.
Oh, remember?
You could do that.
I was, under 75.
Exactly, yeah, you're just a kid, right?
Oh, yeah, like, I guess I'm not.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah,
Come with me,
but now that's gone.
young man. Well, I'm 55. Hey, you kid.
Well, the mask.
I still get a kick out of
What?
people
Oh,
who
the
seem to
mask,
be
yeah.
at dinner at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, I need one the whole face.
There aren't any specials anymore.
Don't need to wear it anymore.
God.
Can age much better.
We watch Netflix, right?
Well, we had it up last time.
Just,
We were changing it, you were editing. Okay, I have a question. When you edited it, then it didn't no longer showed, because I was trying to figure out where we ended. And then it goes off once you edit.
Because I was doing it as editing versus suggesting.
Suggesting,
Yeah,
that's it,
so if you
okay.
stay
I
in
got that, I got
suggesting.
I went to a meeting, Knights meeting, and they were asking,
It's so impressive.
For me.
yeah, where's Lou been? I said, he's got 25,000 things he's doing.
Sorry.
They do keep moving that stuff, though.
But I
I think they think
I
people don't
hadn't been
print
in a
anymore,
while.
you know, so they like bury it like way up here somewhere.
I
you
know,
know.
this is,
I was even on TV this week.
you know, what's
You were what?
I was on TV this week.
Oh, really?
Or decide they like it here, I don't know.
WRDE.
My favorite station.
My
right?
favorite station.
Yeah. Local.
Yeah, Rosemary and I were on TV.
Well, you should have let us know.
No, I usually watch, yeah.
I have to start
Nice you're still talking to us now that you're a TV star.
I didn't talk. They just had my pictures.
Oh. Did it work?
You sort of remind me of Al Roker.
You guys want to get going?
What's that?
You sort of remind me of Al Roker.
Yeah,
He didn't
Oh, did I tell you
email it
I'm
to
resigning for the
didn't.
planning zoning?
And I didn't get that through.
No, you didn't.
Scott,
No, I
just
mean,
email
because
it
of
to
that
him.
statement.
Can't you just email it to him?
yeah, to your town address.
japple@townofbethanybeach.com.
Yeah,
Try one more time.
Apple at town of Bethany.
Oh, you missed an A on beach.
Oh, should I learn how to spell?
Yeah.
Yeah. They don't spell check
Isn't that-
your email.
I live in Bethany Beach and can't spell it. So that's probably the issue.
Oh, I thought you misspelled apple.
That's not
said
below
missing
me
in the A.
either.
Bethesda, Bethany, they all start with Z. Yeah, I gotta figure it out. Catch myself.
All right, cool.
Well, like
But
when
we're
it,
trying to get rid of hospital.
One of my interns one time noticed that our logo on our sheet said Bethany Beach. It's like, well, that's been going out for 10 years.
good time to sell here.
That's our brother.
It sounds beautiful.
She keeps bringing stuff.
Okay, I had the IT guy show me the whole thing the other day because I couldn't figure it out.
I remember after 30 years leaving Maryland, it was like,
Sort of report. how we're doing.
We should have
Hey,
done.
John, I can pull it up on my phone.
exactly.
We still might do that. We're gonna do that.
Well, that's the thing.
And Molly said,
I read through this thing,
yeah, we stay with her most of the time.
and I said to her, honey,
Not the check page.
well, yeah,
Yeah.
I've been doing,
I think there's better places to be, like, not there.
from the very
Yes,
beginning,
exactly.
not a lot, it was like $100 a week, a month.
Well,
I found it scary, but, you know,
my daughter's got a
they have a,
3-bedroom townhouse in Clarksburg.
Yeah.
And so,
Aurora Borealis?
that one's not very, so
Oh,
we just,
yeah.
All right, and then
she's on the top
your
floor,
screensaver?
suite,
yeah, yeah.
and then we're the next level down,
You
and we
gotta
only
hit
get
this
there
thing here that says open with Google Docs.
occasionally.
Well, we still have doctors that I did. Some of my husband's conditions, I don't want to switch.
Yeah, we still go back for certain doctors, oh, yeah.
Good, then I'm not crazy.
No, you're not, no.
I have some here.
Yeah, but,
My wife said,
yeah, like, say it?
they have buy-in from the parent, where they're,
For the most part, yeah.
I said, but I don't know what the district is paying
Okay.
Okay.
per student.
Well, if our kids aren't coming to school, we go get them.
Right. Yeah.
I was never a good student.
Is that what you think we're at?
I think it's actually in the document, it's,
10, 10 or 11, no?
is that where you have us? 'Cause-
Well, yeah, I put a paperclip where I was.
Oh, then you probably know better than
Yeah, where was
the
it?
rest of us.
Susan? In the document?
In this, in the paper one, I had it at recommendation 6 or 5, continue implementation of streetscape plan. Is
What
that where we
page?
were?
That sounds right to me too. So it's
About
page,
10.
page 10 in the
10,
written
okay.
document. It's page,
Okay,
it is page 11 in the,
Okay.
so John, keep going down. There you go. Yep.
Recommendation, yeah, that's 6.
I got the older one, unfortunately, but the wrong
No,
one.
you want, I've got this
the
right
old
here.
one too.
Yeah.
I'll find it, but that's all right. Okay, we can start. Who's ever found it, we get ready.
I don't have any changes to this.
John, where you said completed,
Yes, down the bottom of that.
yeah,
Review process and
or maybe John was just marking that as where we got to.
Scott, if, where it says completed, and if it's attributed to me, that just means that whatever that initiative was, we're done with. All right, that wasn't meant to go beyond.
So So we don't need to do anything differently with that? John, going back up to page 10, you have completed on, under recommendation 5, Atlantic Avenue, the more heavily used street by cars. Will be the first street to be redesigned? It's, but has Atlantic Avenue been redesigned?
The
Half of it.
South Atlantic has.
Atlantic, sorry, I had Pennsylvania in my mind there. So
Pennsylvania
we
has
should
not.
change that to, just say something like the south end,
South Atlantic Avenue has been completed.
yeah. Was redesigned.
Has been redesigned.
Has been.
Has been.
I just misspelled the word has.
Yeah,
So,
it's nice that it lets you know that you do that.
so things are going really well for me. So we can get rid of like both of those sentences.
I have a question. When do we end up just omitting it completely if it's been done
I was just going to ask that.
before the 2010? Because we're doing 2020 now. So if something's been accomplished before 2010, do we,
We're actually doing 2022.
2022, okay. But I mean, if something like it says in the planning in 2008 did something, do we now just take that out?
I think we should refer of what we accomplished. In other words, this was our recommendation, and this is what we did.
Okay, so we have to,
Yeah,
okay.
so add it, like, basically, if you take it all out, then it's like you never did anything.
No, okay, but I'm saying, when was it, oh, so this was, okay, I got you, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So, but if it was done, if we
It was like-
accomplished it before 2010, but we accomplished this after 2010,
Yes.
correct? Okay,
Yeah. So we basically can make a simple statement here on this record, that all the, you know, the recommendations that made were, we have, you know, incorporated, and have been approved and are, you know, something along that way. Because part of the thing, you basically have to say, you make these recommendations, you also have to respond to the recommendations, and then we're gonna have all new recommendations.
Right.
Yeah, I think I have the old book.
In the new plan. By just
Yeah, I
eliminating
got the
all, it just,
original.
you know, it
I
just
brought the wrong
doesn't say what you did
stupid
anymore.
book.
But I think as an example of that, in
20, yeah, see,
recommendation 6,
Yes.
the update.
we're talking about the newer bulk density requirements, and then it says in 2008, design guidelines, requirements, and prohibitions for non-residential structures, blah, blah, blah. But that happened now 12, 13 years ago.
Right.
Yeah, no,
Should we
so-
take that out?
but see,
Yeah,
but
that's what I was saying.
In the newer one,
Well, right, so we say,
That's 2008.
we say October of 2016, the town council, you know, so that's all new and seems appropriate. But then you come down here later and it says in 2008, design guidelines,
yeah,
requirements.
that-
So that's kind of old news.
go.
That
Yeah.
should go. Okay, that's what I was questioning.
Yeah.
that goes.
Oh, no.
I didn't bring the updated book.
I mean, same thing. In 2008, the Planning and Zoning Commission reviewed the subdivision of land codes regarding, we can
Yeah,
strike that.
Okay,
Just
okay.
strike that.
Yeah. Okay.
It's back, it's back.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
What I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It's actually, for me, the easiest.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
otherwise our document would be a tomb.
Yeah.
And besides, it's not applicable anymore.
Right, right,
Right.
okay.
Does anyone have any other comments on recommendation 6?
Just, did you want to add more to that South Atlantic Avenue, the more heavily
Under 5?
by pedestrian, has been redesigned to include porous paving,
Yeah, asphalt
Right.
porous asphalt surface.
on the southern section.
Right, we're talking just about to include porous asphalt paving and walking paths for walking
And bike,
and bikes. Walking
and bike paths.
and bike paths.
Yeah, walking.
What about,
Or maybe
Designated
walking and bike paths.
designated walking and bike path,
Yeah.
yeah.
should we mention that there's now, motor scooter parking or small vehicle parking there?
On Atlantic?
Oh, no, I'm with you, John. I'm with Scott, I'm thinking of Pennsylvania. Never
Are
mind.
we still looking at the plans for the North Atlantic Avenue?
Not for porous, no.
Okay, so nothing's changed in the North Atlantic?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, moving along.
Recommendation 6 seems fine now.
Why don't we go up to the beginning of it? Maybe just take out that first sentence because, we can start here, chapter for accomplishing the goal.
Or we could just say, in October, to added a chapter, just get rid of new.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's it.
okay.
Do you want to add anything, Susan, to that section? It looks pretty good. I think so.
Yeah, I think it's fine. I had a note here to look at how many homes were
Yeah, maybe.
built under bulk density, and I have a list, but I didn't separate out the R1s and R2s yet, so I'll do that.
Yeah, I think that would be valuable to show how effective it's been,
Right.
yeah.
And then, so Scott, then moving on. No, I'm good.
Okay.
Okay, so,
Any comments on one?
well, on one, we'll have to change, see page 72 if it's a different page.
All right.
We won't know that till the end.
Well, why don't,
Adjust,
if we,
yeah,
if we
that's
just
perfect.
took out the parenthetical, see page 72, I mean, people,
Somebody will find.
yeah, people can find it.
I agree.
Maybe just take
You
it
don't
out.
have-
Just take it out. Yeah, I would take it out.
Any comment on housing?
Okay, housing.
Yeah, we're going,
Housing.
That's the biggest sticking thing of all, that affordable housing.
I know.
I have to deal with that every single time I go up to the state.
there's nothing to do about it, yeah.
That's why I always say I said before, I said, all right, you're in charge of Bethany Beach, how do you do that?
Well, it's as tough as, if you look at Bethany Beach, it's an older community, and it has no resources for an older community.
Yeah.
There's no Y, there's no anything. And, I mean, if you really think about it, that probably something that should be, I know we mentioned it, but it's probably something that should be higher on the level or something, if we can provide facilities for the town people, the older town people. There's just nothing.
Well, that village has been incorporated now. The villages to help out older people to stay in, housing, stay in place. It's the South, what's the name of the village, Kathy, the entire name? It's the village concept of how, helping people stay in their homes as they age. It has just come about. It's just been incorporated. It's Lewis.
It's
It's a nationwide
group,
group.
and there's one very active one in the Lewis, Rehoboth area that they're modeled after.
Yeah.
Serving Ocean View, Bethany, and,
Probably South Bethany, maybe even Fenwick.
yeah, I don't think, well,
Well,
yeah,
yeah, definitely Ocean View and Bethany.
let me see if I can get the name.
Most of the senior citizen facilities are merely outside of the town, like, cheer centers, for example.
Right.
And so they're within a short distance, but they're not within the,
Oh, yeah, but how do we get people there? That's,
Well,
I mean, Cheer does have a bus, I
but
guess.
this village will provide transportation. You join, and then there's a membership, and there are volunteers that will take people to doctors, that will do handy work in your home.
I think it's $500 a year to belong for a family, and
I wonder if we should mention that in the 10-year plan.
I think it's pretty significant.
Yeah.
Because I've never heard of it, so,
maybe we should investigate it before we mention it.
okay.
The Gordons are one of the principal founders, I think.
John?
I mean, what we're looking at right now are the summary of the plan recommendations from 2012 to 2022.
Correct.
This discussion,
No, I understand that. No, you're 100% right.
Yeah, this is
Where-
future goals,
Will be
future
later,
goals.
Right.
later.
John,
Yeah,
Okay.
just
John, I
happened
think,
to-
I think
It
that,
popped into my mind
Yeah.
because of something I was reading in it.
I think
That
that's,
should be later.
I think that's not right, though. I think this should be updated to say summary of current 2022 to 2032 plan recommendations.
Okay, yeah, I think you're right, too.
We're beyond that, right?
Right.
So,
Yes, yeah.
so,
All right?
so these should be, this should be like a living
Right?
area of the thing we're working on. We should come back to these things and add to them now, but come back to them if we add anything later, I think.
Yes,
All right.
yes.
So,
Yeah, makes sense.
Scott,
Kathy.
when I went through looking at it as the summary of current 2012 to 2022, each one of these recommendations, to me, were things that should continue. So making it current recommendations, the only thing that I would throw out for consideration would be, under transportation, a recommendation 7 related to parking. We've had this discussion about
Parking?
pardon?
You said parking?
Parking, yes.
And what will your recommendation be?
That we continue to try to find innovative solutions to,
All right, if we make it, yeah,
I think it can just stay as long-term. Well, I would,
it's a long term, that's
Yeah.
correct.
I would say under housing, recommendation 2, building standards in floodplains and flood fringe areas, I think that should be immediate and ongoing rather than long-term.
yeah.
It is,
yes,
it has
yeah.
been,
Yeah, immediate and ongoing, correct. Something we're always dealing with.
yeah.
And Scott, then circling back under
Same thing.
government community services,
Yeah,
recommended 2, electronic government, long-term. I think that ought to be immediate also.
Yes, he
Just
changed
simply
already.
because of
Yep. Mhm.
challenges that are out there.
yep.
It's amazing how they just always get out of,
Yeah, I don't know, it's like,
yeah, it does it all the time to me, too.
yeah. It's like,
You have to do it that way.
I mean,
Just to quickly go back, it's South Coastal Village Volunteers.
What's that?
It's South Coastal Village Volunteers, just in case anybody,
Oh,
Oh, the group.
it serves, I just had it, Bethany, South Bethany, Ocean View, and Millville. And I believe that Ocean View Millville has given them some space in their town offices.
Annual meeting. Is it gonna be in the library?
It's about-
that's under housing?
The annual meeting?
What's that under now?
Oh, is it?
What-
Yeah.
What was that under?
Transportation? Or-
No, it was, darn, where were we when? We were just
you all were
about it.
talking about it in context of affordable housing, whether that's the right place for it to be or not,
Yeah.
but it was
Or-
about,
We're,
Economic and community development.
Where would we place it?
Scott, speaking out loud, I think it would be better putting it in the economic and community development section rather than under affordable housing, simply because,
yeah.
is it even a recommendation, or is it or should it be further up in like accomplishments or something
Yeah.
like that?
I'm not sure it would be a recommendation.
'Cause it's
unless-
not, yes,
Not a recommendation.
Yeah.
It's not a
Yeah.
recommendation.
so maybe it goes somewhere else in the
somewhere else.
document.
Yeah.
okay,
the economic and community development, John, you marked recommendation 5, implement streetscape plan as completed.
Yes.
Should we just, with that in mind, just remove it? Or are there other ongoing streetscape plans?
Susan, are there other ongoing streetscape plans that you're aware of?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
No.
I don't think we have anything else on.
Gone.
I mean, we're putting in those charging stations. Would that fall under
Transportation.
street-
Transportation.
under transportation
Mhm.
and under parking?
We're taking away parking, not adding it.
That's the biggest question I've gotten from people in the community talking about EVs was, well, if Bethany Beach puts some stations in, why are we paying for their electricity?
You're not.
And I said, you won't be.
No.
It will be like a charge card.
We aren't Tesla.
Huh?
We aren't Tesla.
Ah, right,
You know, Tesla pays for that.
okay.
Yeah, so all the Tesla ones are free.
Ah,
Yeah,
Because they got the money from the federal government, so you paid for it.
yeah.
all right, but,
Well, I mean, all the Teslas are not metered,
right.
but these are all metered, and we will actually get paid for it.
Right.
So, we actually split the cost with the Delmarva Power. They supply the power, and then we split. We get some of the money, they get some of the money.
Right.
I feel like life comes at you fast. Weren't we like 2 meetings ago talking about how it was impossible to put like charging stations in, and now we're getting 8?
That was one meeting ago.
1 meeting ago. We're getting stuff done. Put it in here.
I thought it was a dream.
There, well, I mentioned this at the town council meeting yesterday, because I'm also involved with the Delaware League. And there was a rule that, a proposed legislation coming out of Dover that mandated this. And also mandated that our building codes change to mandate any major renovations or new construction, that they had to be provided these charging stations.
Has to
And
be provided.
It has to be provided. It was overwhelmingly rejected by all 57 communities because it was it was like throwing out home rule, you know, and say, no, we decide how we're going to do that,
Right.
not the state of Delaware. For instance, I mean, a couple, they they just want to do a major renovation to their house.
Right.
And why the added expense when no one in the house has an electric vehicle? And the new owner can put that in. But to mandate it, you know, ahead of time, I think that, you know, all 57 of the towns and 3 counties were not happy with that. It was over. It doesn't mean it's not going to pass, but what my point is, we were not happy with it.
Or to find out 5 years from now that we're all driving hydrogen cars, but we have electric vehicle charging stations in our houses.
But Lou, then that raises the question, and I'll ask this of you, Susan. Should we be thinking about a potential change or addition to our current zoning to cover home charging stations and what they have to meet in order to fit our building code? I'm asking a question.
My view on that is a little premature,
Okay?
quite honestly. I think this technology is still being developed. Like, for instance, universal plugs.
Right.
I mean, that hasn't been established yet. So, you know, I mean, that's just one small example. But my point is, I don't even think the technology is going to be changing. For instance, what's the possibility, like instead of going to a gas station and charging your thing, they actually pull the whole battery pack out and put a whole new one in, you know, without waiting. It's just like, you know, just.
Somebody's doing that now.
Yeah,
There's a
but my
company.
point is that this technology is still in the early phases, and to sit there and create all these things and then find out you don't need it, and then now you spend all this
I was
money.
just looking up what it costs to do this, just out of curiosity while we're talking about it. It costs about $1,000 to $2,000 to put this in your home. You can hardwire it, you can have a portable, whatever. Since we don't know what kind of, like Lou says, what kind of cars they'll be
Right.
having in the future, it's kind of premature to even.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's, well, I think it's well-meaning, but I think it's a little premature from, at least from my perspective, of mandating this in our code. Especially like a couple who doesn't even own an electric car, and they have no plans to sell their house, but yet, if they want to do a major renovation, they have to spend a couple $1,000s to put this in that they may or never use.
I was coming at it from the perspective, if somebody came to Susan and said, look, I'm either build a new house or I'm renovating, and I want to have a charging station, not to put her in a position of saying, well, you can't do that because it's not covered by it's not covered by our zoning or whatever.
It's not really a zoning issue, it's more a building code, and we don't inspect electrical, so it would fall to outside agencies.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not different than putting like a dryer in your house,
Yeah.
basically. It's
Yeah.
Got it.
We have to call Michael J. Fox and find out what they're gonna be using in big garbage, right? Okay, let's move. We don't have a break in 15 minutes.
Okay.
formatting on this is insane.
I don't have any changes for the 3 paragraphs that begin the intergovernmental coordination. I mean, I think that all remains in place.
Mm-hmm.
Let me know if I'm going too fast or too slow. If somebody says something like that, I'm just.
And Lou, they still have the circuit rider, right? We talked,
Yes.
okay.
Again, these charts and things, I'll have them updated by the Institute of Public Administration.
Right.
Okay, so we can just zoom through that.
That's going to get updated, right? Okay.
So this should be updated.
Yeah,
Update.
that has to be updated, yeah. The 2010 is because of the 2020 sentence, so we'll check what that is.
Okay,
Scott, too, on
Yep,
the
that needs-
aerial view.
that
figure
needs to be
two-
changed.
Figure 2, page 10, that'll change, too.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we should just,
Yeah.
So update that also,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
And then, Scott, below the 2010 census data that needs to be changed, the last sentence or sentences, it says the number of construction permits continues to increase each year. It was projecting a 57% increase. I don't know if that's changed or not.
well,
All
the
right, we got
projection hasn't changed, but
Okay.
for that period of time,
Yeah,
It has not.
for that period of time, that's
yeah.
still good.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
All right.
I think we're good there. 'Cause it is a projection.
Scott, under the impacts from surrounding areas, that first sentence, the aerial view, the page number will need to change. Yeah.
All right, update that, yeah.
And then, in the second paragraph that begins the impacts to Bethany Beach, about halfway through that paragraph, the sentence says, while the state and county realize additional tax revenue from this growth, the coastal towns are at the mercy of we should change mercy to at the
At the direction of?
or direction or
Yeah.
discretion
Mercy.
of,
I like mercy.
well,
At the direction
Yeah,
of?
right.
that would be fine.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with mercy either, but that's,
Sounds a little.
I think we also added the needs of coastal towns. Or at the discretion of
all right,
state
yeah.
and county organizations.
That's it. The needs of coastal towns.
okay.
Is that saying what we want it to say? It feels like what we're trying to say is that the state and county are making money from this growth, but
Yeah.
town doesn't unless they decide. So I'm just not sure the wording of that
So maybe
sentence.
discretion?
That's what I thought.
Discretion?
Yeah, I had discretion.
I did too. Great minds.
So the needs of the coastal towns are at the discretion of?
Yeah.
Are at the discretion of, right.
Well, let's go back to the sentence. What do you think about this? It says, while the state and county realize additional tax revenue from this growth, especially in surrounding communities, because that's where all the growth is. Because you have,
I think it's implied.
is it implied? All right.
I feel like it. I mean, whatever. I feel like when you say it's, but
Because that's really the growth is all around us, not within us. I mean, the serious growth, I mean, the impact. It's fine as it, I just threw it out.
yeah.
Fine, good.
Do you think the last sentence in that paragraph, the town of Bethany Beach will need to continue to be proactive? What about just saying, will continue to be proactive?
All right.
Okay, so,
All right, it's fine with me.
The town is benefiting in some ways from the growth, right? I mean,
How?
Commercially.
well, I mean, I don't know about just from the growth, but I mean, our permit fees have to be way up at the moment. I'm not saying that needs to be brought up here. I'm just saying, it's not like the town is falling on hard times or anything.
Well, the business is,
It's not that the town's falling on hard times, it's just that our resources are
Right.
being stretched.
Yeah.
Resources are being stressed, yeah.
yeah, a good example would be the amount of water storage that the town has to provide for because of the influx of the summer crowds, and that's a lot of money that we have
Yeah.
to spend.
So I guess, I don't know how maybe it wants to be more directly stated. Like, we're kind of dancing around it a little bit in this paragraph, but we could describe some of those things more directly and say, so that someone at the state isn't like, hey, the town of Bethany, you guys are pretty rich,
Yeah.
you know?
That's what they tell them all the time.
So by saying stuff like as Susan said, that our resources are stretched by the growth or something.
That's a good way of doing it.
Oh, I like that idea.
Resources are stressed.
Yeah, good idea.
Good idea.
You can take a break.
Realize additional tax revenue from this.
How about over here?
are we not taking a break?
To accommodate the,
We'll take a break once we finish.
Yeah,
this.
to address
Which is page, why don't we
address
not do
what
that?
kind
Yeah,
of
we'll
thing?
do that.
All right.
I'm not gonna kill everybody.
the ongoing impact on,
something like that.
yeah.
So we just added
To the town's limited resources.
to the towns, sure. To address the ongoing impact to the town's limited resources, the town of Bethany will continue to be proactive in finding additional funding sources and encouraging cooperation from surrounding communities.
Good.
Break.
Move a break.
We're going to take a break anyway.
I should just type the word break. Take everything literally.
Our limited resources as a city.
Break.
Back in touch in 2032.
And they'll, at the state, they'll be like, Lou,
Okay.
what did you mean?
And the staff also gets a break at the time.
5 minutes?
5 minutes. For anybody who's listening in, we will be back in 5 minutes. Thank you. Well, you know where we're going to get some money probably is when they reevaluate everybody's house value, which should be
Yeah,
in Sussex County.
Yeah,
Because I know some of these, on this side, some of the older houses.
yeah.
My house, when I redid it back
Well,
in,
yeah, we were.
oh, back, I went from like 50,000 to 750,000. And then
That's what I
you see
used to
these
do.
houses up there. Oh. When you leave,
That's why we haven't changed our residency.
that one's gonna hurt.
Well, Kenneth does have every single thing we've added on to the house. He has documented, and then we did put an addition, a little read,
They'll call it significant.
it's still gonna be big, right? Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, I can't, you know, it's gonna be.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to upgrade all those. Well, except
Okay, the meeting's called back to order. Let's continue on our review. We're on the
we
impacts
can
of
change that,
surrounding area. Have
'cause-
we completed that? I know you two were talking. Okay.
Yeah.
If we have, let's move on.
We could take that 2011, because that's not going to change the aerial views.
Oh, it's gonna change, the 2011 will stay the same?
Yeah, we haven't changed. Other town, right? Figure 2,
Limits, right?
I mean, the town hasn't changed, so I mean, we could take that date out.
Okay.
Yeah, see, it says February 2011.
Yeah.
There's no sense putting a date on that, because the town's that's the area view of the town hasn't changed.
So we gotta just, we have to change
The
it.
Public Works Department, is that annexed into the town?
No, separate of
Okay,
the town.
we didn't do
No.
that, okay.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
So if we
It'd
take
have
out
to
the,
be changed in
we-
that graphic. It's like,
yeah, it's part of the,
yeah, it's
all
part
right,
of the,
all
part of
right.
the image.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
We should change this
Overall
too. The
plan
header.
goals.
Okay,
Now we're into the goals.
in the first paragraph under community vision, the last sentence, we need to change because it says, as we perform a midpoint update of
Yes.
the comprehensive plan. I think we just take that out.
Yes. Correct.
Where am I looking?
The second sentence in the first paragraph, it starts, as we perform a midpoint update.
Actually, the third sentence.
We should just take that opening
Usually,
phrase out and say,
We are.
yes, we are continuing initiatives to extend this vision. I mean, we say we are establishing. I don't know if we,
Continuing to establish,
pardon?
continuing to establish.
Okay,
Just, we are continuing to establish initiatives.
right.
Should we be using "we"? I mean, it's nitpicking, but
Like,
it's the town.
you would say the town?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
The town, that sounds much better.
Because we aren't a we town. We're a big town.
I've been spelling "we" wrong this whole time.
Yeah.
And we ran all the way home.
Do we even need the word "eventually" here?
I think that second paragraph, well-being of people, needs to move up.
Yeah.
It's kind of minor, but
Town's coming to some.
It should,
should be,
Yeah, I
Should-
think you're right.
Yeah.
That last sentence, well, I think we should take out the word eventually retirement
yeah, just and retirement.
and retirement.
People retire here all the
Yeah.
time, right?
Yeah.
We're not striving to become a retirement community.
No, we are there.
Nailed it.
We are us.
Kathy, you were saying the well-being of people, you wanted to,
the paragraph that begins with well-being of
Space.
people, it's not really a new paragraph. I think it's the.
I
Yeah.
see, gotcha, yep.
And we use the "we," the royal "we" there again.
All right.
To achieve this goal, we will rely.
Yeah.
And it probably should not say "will rely," it should say "relies."
Relies on.
Yeah.
Its citizens?
Yeah.
Yes.
Should that be it? Do we have initiatives for meeting, or incentives for meeting green initiatives? Should we have incentives for meeting green, should we have green initiatives?
Well, it's been in there since 2010.
Well, we have agreed this is certain, like, for the building, certain requirements for landscaping and stuff, right?
Yeah. You got the paving.
We have porous, that's a green initiative.
That's what we're working on, but there isn't anything in the code right now that requires porous materials.
Which is what we talked about
Yeah.
and said we need to put, because,
I have a drafted
yeah,
sentence
we
for that,
thought, yeah, remember, we thought we had it.
We don't have that.
We thought we had.
Yeah.
it, but we
We do have something in the code that requires, it was more under keeping your landscaping similar, even on vacant lots, it has to be similar to your surroundings. So if they're grassed lots, you can't,
Yeah, like do with all John, all the time with your notices about, you know. In
Yeah, we
fact, they
had-
all,
we had a-
they mentioned that in there, the green initiative and things like that. So, yeah, I think we do, yeah.
We can do that one, sure.
yeah,
Then I want, well,
yeah.
yeah,
You wanna schedule it for the next one?
yes. I want to make a note that we schedule an item for the pervious or impervious, whatever word we want to use, paving for the next meeting. Andrea, make sure we get that on the, thank you.
So, I think we should have some green initiatives. We could
Well, I
put,
don't think there's a question. I think you're 100% correct.
we should, or we should actually establish initiatives for green, or incentives for green initiatives. Should we put that further up under, that list of, on page, 11, under housing? Or somewhere, I'm not sure where it should go, but under the summary of current plan recommendations?
Environmental protection, would it be under
Yeah, maybe under environmental
had
protection?
yeah.
Scott,
we
I'm,
have a Green Bethany initiative there already.
Recommendation 5.
Oh, you know what, we talked about this in the last meeting. What is the Green Bethany Initiative?
It's a requirement all houses in future have to be painted green.
Yeah, it could be.
And cars must be green.
And if that was in writing, at least we would have a Green Bethany Initiative.
If you look at the 2010, it says we have green vehicles, and I'm like, that's actually in the plan. I'm like, oh, well, you don't have any green vehicles.
Could we make recommendation 5, establish a Green Bethany
Yeah,
Initiative?
I think that's probably, because that's a pretty big item if we're gonna do that, and that's gonna take, I think, a separate
Under
meeting
environmental protection established,
for
yes.
this whole group, because
That
I'm
sounds
sure
good.
everybody here has a comment or a concept on it, so, you know, I would recommend,
Yeah,
we do what
makes sense.
Scott said, which is, you know, say we're gonna establish them as a goal or objective, and then that'll give us something to meet on in the fall or the winter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about cars and, you know, I look, thanks, John, because I looked at it and I'm like,
Didn't even know you could do that.
that's got to be updated and because it doesn't talk about electrical vehicles or almost anything. But,
It's under figure 13. Why doesn't figure?
you know, okay, well, when we get to that, we'll
Okay.
continue.
So we shouldn't say establish Green Bethany Initiative because seems like we have one.
Well, we have
So
some.
there is something.
It's stated, yeah.
So I'm just going to put a note to update or edit that recommendation 5 as appropriate.
Lou, what's the date we have to submit this?
It's flexible.
Yeah.
I'd like to get it all done, say, September, October time.
Yeah, because
And
we
then,
might have,
and then give it
Send
to the council.
Town council
Yeah,
in October.
and then also put the draft document out
For
for the public
hearing,
to
yeah.
review.
right.
and then make an appointment with, to go up to Dover.
Lou, has the state indicated any flexibility about the delivery of these things because of COVID? I don't know if there are other towns that
I
are,
don't think there's a rush to any of this stuff. I think we're
Right.
taking the initiative rather than being told, you know? Some places don't even, they're so far behind us.
right. I mean, I haven't
And like the
sensed that.
Frankfurts of the world, and, you know, they have limited resources, and, you know, it's like this, I mean, but every town has to have a comprehensive plan. But I think as long as you make a, you know, a initiative and an effort to create one, you know, and then follow up with that, I don't think it's like you're gonna hammer, where's your comprehensive plan?
That was my point.
No.
I hadn't sensed anything like that,
No,
and that
no.
we were probably ahead of a lot of people because we're being conscientious in trying
Correct.
to do this.
Yes.
I wanted to be sure that we weren't putting you or the town in a bind.
No, I prefer, we never know what the future's gonna be. This is a group of people that we've been together for a while, rather than starting from scratch. I
Right.
think if we could get this thing going, then that's, we can check that off our box about,
Right.
about getting it done.
And
Because
this is
we all
probably-
have experience in doing this.
And this is one of the better small-town plans
Yes,
out there. if not
yeah. I
the
mean, we,
best.
to be honest with you, we've never really had a pushback to the point, they made a couple comments, you know, like I said, but I know I'm repeating myself, about affordable housing and stuff, but for the most part, they say it was a very good plan, and, you know, and move on, so.
Okay,
Okay.
Below that Green Bethany initiative, or Green Initiative on a vision for the environment, the town of Bethany Beach proactively acts to protect identified natural resources. Should we say the town continues to, or will continue to?
Or shall continue to?
Yeah.
Okay.
because in the last year or two with the
I
open
mean, you know,
spaces that we've
It's
purchased.
also,
yeah.
it's always something that is very, people want this.
Yeah.
you
Right.
know. They want us to always be keeping that in consideration, making appropriate, positive decisions to, because this is their home, and they like to keep it as much as they possibly can.
Lou, staying on that point, the town bought the piece of property abutting the Walcheck property. Are there other locations around that the town might consider buying to keep doing the same thing? I don't know that there are, but my point would be, if we are working to lessen the impact, if there were other locations like that, do you think that would be something the town would consider if those opportunities came up?
Yeah, I think John can answer that directly, but yeah, he was proactive. He was the one actually who was,
That found it, or, right.
made all the inquiries and the initiative of finding that property. Is that correct, John?
Yes, and I don't know when it comes to a piece of property made up of that amount of wetlands, tidal wetlands, waterfront with access to the Loop Canal, I don't think there are anymore. There was another one that was at the, in Lake Bethany, that was right at the confluence of the Loop Canal and the Assawoman. There was an empty lot that was for sale, but that's just gone up. That was bought, and I think they're submitting plans, right, Susan?
Is that the one? Are you talking about
Sandbar.
the one to the, yeah, that's got a house going up on it.
Yeah, I think those are the only ones with that kind of makeup.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, John, I totally concur with your thoughts. And I think hats off to John, because he's always been keeping an eye on that. Because we want to be proactive of taking all that, like we did with this quarter lot here, taking it out of, out of being developed.
I mean, I recall the honor-free property, at one point, she had filled in the back of her lot. And it turned out that it was wetlands. and she was required to move it back, if you will. And I'm not suggesting that the town get in the individual parcel ownership business, but if there are places like that around that would help contain development because we had identified a sensitive area that we could get control of so that you wouldn't have a situation where somebody would try to
Yeah.
put the boardwalk in, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Sorry for
move on.
getting off track, Mr. Chairman.
not a problem. This train runs 3 or 4 different ways. Okay,
All right.
Mr. Chairman, under a vision for community, this is just me, but it says, people are Bethany's greatest asset. We really don't. We don't have any programs to help people.
for that asset?
Right. I mean, the rest of the sentence is fine. The town's goal is providing a high quality of life experiences and opportunities to residents, property, and business owners and visitors. I just found people are Bethany's greatest asset as almost gratuitous and inviting potential criticism, like from the affordable housing people who say, well, if this is what you say in your plan.
Wait a minute. Let me put a different view out. So we provide a recreational a beach that's
Right.
well-maintained. We have parks that are well-maintained.
Yep.
We supply our water supply to our residents. We also do our own trash
Yep.
and yard waste. So I mean, there's a lot of things that the town provides, and I think that a lot of people look at that's an asset for why I want to come here.
Okay.
That's just
Yep.
from my perspective. So you don't have to go to a third party, like you third party for your trash. And
Right.
So I mean, that's another way of looking at it. So it is we look at that as, people are our asset because these are kind of things that they want.
Okay.
I don't know
Just wanna be
if
sure we
anybody
have a
else agrees or
We have a
disagrees.
defense to any of our statements here, and that's a great one.
Okay,
No problem.
So
Thank you.
people are still Bethany's greatest asset?
Yes,
Is
that's-
that where, okay.
So we're an asset.
That's why we use "we" all the time also.
you lawyers.
And again, I think, look at this group here. I mean, how many people, how many other towns have a group of people dedicated to sit there and work to make this town better? Aren't you guys all assets? Seriously, I'm not being
It's-
smart,
It's because they pay us so much.
but my point is that.
No,
that's-
100%
yeah,
correct.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've been called a liability at times, so.
All right, we're moving along.
All right.
You know, one of our assets is
Let's
not
get the
feel-
asset out of
I'll
here.
add that.
It's not
People,
feeling good.
people are Bethany's greatest asset. John gone is Bethany's greatest liability. Yeah.
Of all time.
And he's not green.
Right.
Hi, I'm John Gahn, Bethany's liability on his shirt.
I'm John Gone. Okay. Vision for business.
Lou, I thought we created an organization of business owners and the Chamber of Commerce and the town. We start this by saying we need to create an organization.
There is a Bethany Business Group.
Right, so,
So it's created.
Yeah, but.
Did the town create
No,
or-
but the town didn't create it.
No, I think it's with the chamber. Is it with the chamber?
No,
No?
no, we don't belong to the chamber. The,
So, as a point of process, either an organization like that has been established, created is a very loaded word, but has been established, And that should be under accomplishments further up, or
How about-
we should mean to do this, or we should strike it?
How about we recognize that the town's business owners,
The town recognizes.
yeah, the town recognizes the organizations,
I think it's a need. I mean, at one point, Lou, weren't you like the town liaison to the business owners or something?
chamber? Yes. Yes. There's a bunch of Bethany Beach business owners, and then there's, because they don't belong to the chamber.
Okay.
Yeah.
That consists. Consists of representatives of the town?
Wait, why are we saying we recognize it when it exists?
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean.
Well, by
recognizes the
recognizing,
need to
I mean,
establish.
we support it.
The
May-
importance
Maybe,
of?
maybe
Support.
the support,
Town supports
Yes, supports.
yeah. Town supports.
an organization.
Supports the organizations.
Organizations, supports organizations.
No, I guess it was the word need, recognize the need for. That was what, so that's,
Yeah.
Okay.
Or will the town will continue to support? I don't know if that matters.
No,
Yeah,
just
and we support it.
because it makes it sound like we're not to.
No, it
Mhm.
will.
Continue.
So then all of the tenses should go from this would involve to this involves.
Yes.
Involved, yeah.
And the word also, fourth line for the bottom, should be gone.
Is this like a hyphenated ever-growing?
Yeah.
Year-round is hyphenated too,
Yeah,
I think.
yeah.
Okay, good.
And I guess summer probably ought to be capitalized if we're talking of this season. Summer and beach-related businesses, no? This is my Catholic school
I
education
don't know, I
coming
think
through.
on summer.
I majored in coloring pictures, so yes, you tell me.
Hey, I did that for a year too, my freshman year in college.
Thought better
That's
of
why I
it.
became a civil engineer, because they said, you don't color well enough.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay? Electronic government.
Mr. Chairman, I would suggest that we add in the sentence that says, "The goal is to develop and maintain responsive, secure, accurate," that we add the word resilient, only from the standpoint of should the town come under attack, we're in a position to get back up and running.
All right.
Okay,
Responsive, secure, resilient, accurate infrastructure.
yeah.
And we don't deal in bitcoins.
Pardon? Yeah. You know, there's some
Or
guy,
cryptocurrency, I should say.
I just saw the headline, I don't know, he made nominal investment in an obscure Bitcoin, and his worth has now, he's a trillionaire,
On paper.
on paper.
It's not me.
I know, I don't want to go off topic. I cannot understand how this all works. As much as I read about it, just, I don't understand it, cryptocurrency. At the end of the day,
But apparently, there are now places where you can go to an ATM and get Bitcoin, or whatever it is.
Aren't some places now not supporting Bitcoin because of all the energy it takes with the computers to
That's what I
run,
heard, yeah.
run that whole thing? I saw
it's
some,
incredible, the amount of
It's-
energy.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah. I could be wrong, but I remember somewhere in the Wall Street Journal, these banks take the equivalent of the energy of all the energy of the state of Rhode Island,
Yeah, something like that. It's
That's how much
something
energy they
absolutely
use.
insane.
because they're huge. The encryption codes in these computers are incredible. Just banks and banks, I mean, literally rooms and rooms of computers. Generating a lot of heat, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, as much as I read about it, I still don't understand it. At the end of the day, even Elon Musk, you can't buy a Tesla now with cryptocurrency.
Yeah, he
Dropped
won't
it.
support them, yeah.
Yeah.
I-
And that,
maybe
you
that
saw the
was the first
cryptocurrency when it
report.
went down like that, so.
Yeah.
Just don't understand at the end of the day how that works, but,
Okay?
On, what specifically are we trying to do from an e-government standpoint that we aren't already doing?
Well, we constantly update the systems that we use,
making it easier
yeah.
to use, one, I think.
So is it like, would you be able to, just to use an example, like, could you submit building permits, like, from it, like, or, like, could you get your tax bill? Like, well, I don't really know what's not available that we would want to make available,
Well,
or are we
since-
just saying we're?
Since COVID, yeah, everybody emails me stuff
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah, and like, can
But-
you, I mean, there's a lot you can already do through the town's website. So we're kind of saying the goal is to develop and maintain,
And simplify.
yeah. I guess my question is with develop, like what are we,
Developing.
what's left to develop that's not already
I see,
an e-government? Are there,
So you're saying the goal is to
how
maintain?
about how to maintain and update?
yeah.
Maintain and update.
And I'm not saying there isn't a goal, I'm just saying if there is, we should maybe describe that in specifically.
I like update.
Or keep current,
Yeah.
or update, whatever.
And I guess I have what's the first sentence mean? I mean, do we need it?
Yeah.
And who does this cost money to?
What's that?
It says like, it's at a reasonable cost. At whose reasonable cost? I'm just confused because I feel like we have an e-government. I don't know what we're doing. But I mean, I'm fine with it.
No, I agree with you.
But everything happens online, right? I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
So just take it out. Reasonable cost.
I mean, it feels very 2008.
All right.
You know what I mean? Like it's.
I see.
Exactly.
Yes,
Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah, just take it out. Yeah.
All right.
And I do think some things, like John pointed out, like it needs to become more resilient. There will be at some point, a ransomware attack on a
Right.
local town, or there maybe already has been that you
Well, they
haven't heard
did.
about.
Up in New England, they attacked the ferry system.
Yeah,
Yeah, but don't we continue to do things like offer apps to people visiting for parking and,
Yeah.
and all kinds of
Right,
things? So
I
that's
mean-
the kind of thing we're always trying to
They may
to
may
generate
go after our
more
trolley
things
system.
like that that help visitors
Capture
and
them.
people here navigate through the town.
yeah, okay, that's a good point
Good.
too. I mean, maybe I just have
So-
my,
So
But
Scott, what,
let me ask again, though.
yes, sir.
The first sentence, do we need that, or what's it mean? Because
Oh, you
I mean, I had a lot to do with
defining-
writing this.
You mean
the first-
defining what an e-service is?
It's- Yeah, why, it's about, which I don't like the wording we use then, about delivering services to the public, performing government functions using advanced technology to satisfy the town's charter. I don't know how that satisfies the town's charter, but, and its responsibilities to the citizens. Is that just gobbledygook?
Well, that's, yeah,
To
that's
me, it is. anyway.
2008 thing.
It
Yeah.
was, no, I
All right.
agree. My recommendation would be, do what you're getting ready to do.
Yeah, yeah,
And then, so you would just have, the goal is to develop and maintain, or,
is to maintain and
Maintain
is
update.
to maintain responsive, secure, resilient, accurate infrastructure that provides services.
I'm fine.
That's fine.
Makes more sense.
All right,
to
good.
me.
Yeah.
And you're right, there's a lot of 2008.
Yeah.
That's a good way to,
And the notion of like I guess the only other thing is like at a reasonable cost.
Well, it is a cost to us
Okay.
most of the time.
Yeah.
The town generally provides it.
So yeah, so you're saying in that sentence, the town shouldn't just go shoot the moon on spending to develop some app or whatever. It's just continue to do it at a,
Probably,
yeah.
Or to put things that everybody wants, you know, I mean,
Yeah.
a visitor wants.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yes, sir. Right. Oh, yeah, no,
Well, I think that's a good
Highlight
point.
a
Like if you
goal.
have like if you highlight a goal, but you have like specific goals, it takes it from being gobbledygook into like, this is what we're really trying to do. Otherwise, it's just flowery, like the last sentence we just struck was just flowery language that didn't really mean anything. And how could the town charter have said anything about
Yeah.
the technology?
they didn't make up
Yeah.
computers
Like
when
then
that
it was like
written.
a donkey cart.
Okay, a vision for transportation. This is pretty important.
I'm fine with,
That's pretty,
I'm fine with what's
Vanilla.
there.
We can,
We need to dump the word cars and say vehicle, maybe.
vehicles,
Oh, no, I have to spell the word vehicles.
I got it for you.
You've
Did I
been
do it?
doing great.
No, you did it wrong. Here you go.
There you go. Good.
Google did it for
Stay
me.
focused
Yeah.
on.
All I needed is to get close.
Okay. And I agree that that's such an important thing for the town. We should keep it very simple and not try to go beyond what we're stating. Well, unless Lou had any comments on these, we're gonna move on. Because that's Lou,
Perfect.
that's Lou's
That's,
area.
that's pretty rote stuff.
Yeah. Brief overview, location.
Okay,
I mean,
Ken.
that definitely, I mean,
That doesn't need to be
That's not gonna
changed.
change.
No. This
so
is
we're,
your-
are we,
yeah, we finished with that, I think, yeah.
What's wrong with that?
nothing,
North.
yeah. So,
Unless any of the state laws change.
Yeah, unless something, the statutes changed, it seems to me that that's all just pretty straightforward.
We're just, Scott's just correcting the grammar stuff.
yeah.
It's great that it highlights whatever
Yeah.
you need.
I think we're more than 21,000 in the summertime now. Are we in the 30,000 range?
Oh, yeah, Lou and I are way down on page
Oh, I'm sorry.
21 now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
We're probably over 1,200 too, right?
I think we're 1,500.
all right.
Yeah.
You want me to just put a note to update that?
And last year, we were like 15,000,
Yeah.
I think.
pretty vanilla stuff. History, what is history?
I mean, topography, geology.
Yeah.
I feel like if those things had changed, we would know about it.
Okay. Geology hasn't changed in a while.
Yeah.
Is comprised, why is that underlined?
Where are you looking?
On the last, on the bottom of page 21, we have is compromised underlined. Just, you know, just wondering why.
The land on which Bethany Beach predominantly rests
Comprised,
is
not
comprised.
compromised.
Comprised, oh, it's underlined because they can't read from here.
Google just wants it to be consists. And Google is our overlord, so it gets what it wants.
Scott, backing up a little bit, under 1.2.3.b geology, it says, the first paragraph at the end, a number of beach replenishment projects have maintained the integrity and quality of our beach strand. I mean, we just had another beach replenishment this year. Should we at least, like say, something, a number of projects, and rather than over the years, as recent as 2020 or 2021 have maintained the integrity?
Oh, we could just say including the latest one in 20.
Yeah, just to,
That's perfect, yeah, including the latest one in 21.
I mean, just in case there's a nebbish
I was just looking up
that is
just right there.
looking at our old plan and then comparing our new plan to our old one and says, well, all you guys did was just repeat the same thing, and put a different date on it.
And we can be like, well, we also changed it to 12.2 font. Looks like more.
Right.
Now we're getting into John and Lou's area. The first line, the age that they were born.
Under weather and climate, do we need to change any of these indices that are in here? I mean, we talk about the mean annual temperature, the amount of precipitation and all. It doesn't matter to me, but I don't know if any of that has changed.
It's hard to imagine that there's been no significant change measured in the past 75 years at this point. I just made a note to update that.
Yeah,
Okay.
that needs to be checked.
Maybe just take out the, during the last 75 years. I was saying, because it probably hasn't changed that much. I'll check it out,
Yeah,
Check it out.
I'll
Global
just,
warming, you know.
yeah.
Well, the first time they started checking for global warming, if you call it one, it was like 1850 or 60, the first scientific.
Oh.
And then, that was the low point in the 10,000 years prior. The lowest temperature was when they first started. So it's gone up, but a little bit, but they started at the bottom. Okay.
Will we use the
We'll
2020
look at
census
changes.
instead?
Just
Yeah.
just highlight the area.
Mr. Chairman, I believe all the population stuff, I mean, the verbiage is okay, but
Right. Yeah, Lou's gonna.
yeah,
get
we've
somebody
got
to do it,
dates that
yeah.
need to be fixed. I don't think there's significant changes to any of the,
I guess the biggest change for Bethany Beach will be the number of permanent, year-round residents.
Yes, that's true.
Because we're not growing. People are just gonna come down and live here.
It says the average annual temperature in Bethany Beach is 57.6 degrees Fahrenheit.
So it doesn't change.
So it's the same.
Same.
We could just
I
change it
just
to the
Google
mean annual
everything.
temperature.
Susan's checking it.
Just think out
You're
during
as
the,
bad as my kids. I can't say anything anymore around my kids. Oh, you know what?
that's it.
Well, you're wrong.
Thank you, Susan.
Welcome.
When our kids first got them, two engineers were using them.
How do I unedit this?
How about copy and then paste? Copy and then paste it back in?
There's gotta be a better way, right? Like,
And we'll just, we on population yet?
Wait a minute, he's
He's
still
making some
updating it.
changes
Oh,
up on
okay.
the
I'm
web.
sorry.
okay.
All right, we're good.
We're good?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, we got a new census, so 10 becomes 20 everywhere, I guess.
So Lou, are you just gonna go through and update that stuff, or do you
Yeah,
want? Okay.
I'll-
All right. So I'll just
Hopefully I'll
highlight
update
the
it.
whole.
Yeah, maybe just put a note.
I
for
don't
it.
know if the information is available right now, but I'll find it.
Yeah. Okay,
So nothing we need to do.
and that's the same thing for the
So
next.
this whole
Yeah.
grouping here, yeah.
And we just have to add another bar, I guess. I take one out and put another one in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless it's changed, we'll just leave it alone.
This is why I thought we'd get through a lot of it real quick, because we don't have the answers yet.
right,
All these charts are gonna be modified,
yep.
or extended, I should say. That was the good thing about having University of Delaware help us in 2010, because that guy,
Yeah.
he was just throwing charts in.
But, but they're, it's not free.
Well, I saw your memo. Yeah.
Well, not to put the monkey on Diane's back, but a lot of those charts and graphs were actually done by Diane and her daughter.
Yeah.
Basically my daughter.
All right,
Take the credit, Diane.
I'll take some credit. I give
you
you
know,
much
so,
to her.
so have her to dinner again and.
Oh, no, she's there now.
You know, and make a cake or whatever and see if she,
Right. Oh, no, she said she would do it.
oh,
Oh,
cool,
good. I
Very-
appreciate that.
Yeah.
there you go.
Okay? Just put Diane's daughter down here.
Yeah.
Molly.
Voluntold,
Molly,
yeah.
Molly.
Okay? Susie could probably tell us too. She's gonna,
What?
all
Susan's
these
good at
numbers,
this.
yeah, she could do that.
What the average age?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, all
Why don't
those
we just
things.
say old? Just old.
I looked it up the other day. The average age is now 67 point something in Bethany.
Oh,
that-
that's just kids.
I
It's
just
up.
wanted it to be
Yeah.
older than me.
Okay? This is just filler stuff to meet
page 27.
requirements. So I think we can move through this fairly quickly.
There's a little,
Hmm.
yeah.
Okay?
Other charts.
Yeah, these are just charts. There's stuff that we can comment on. And since this thing's been had here about 11 years, grammatically, everybody's happy. If they lost it then, they'll lose it now, okay? Yeah, Scott, we can just zip through this as fast as you'd like.
Uh, except where,
All right, now,
Housing.
housing, under 3.1, general housing issues,
Okay, hold on, let me get,
we talk about
35.
the increase from 2011 to 2015.
He's,
So that needs to be updated.
Right.
I took a look at that, and I have some questions. I went back and looked at how many new houses were built 2017, 18, 19, and 2020. But then I wondered, do we count them as new dwellings if there was one torn down?
What's that?
oh,
No.
My demos,
Yeah,
like 2017, seven buildings were demolished, 22 new houses were built. So I have a net of 15.
that would be, that would be
Okay.
my suggestion.
Right,
Okay.
that,
Because
yeah.
it gets kind of weird then, because we have a negative for 2020 because they tore them down in December, but they didn't build them till, permits didn't come in till 21.
So it's housing growth, so if they tear it down,
should we make a separate category for
Yes,
replaced?
that's a good,
Yeah.
that's a
So-
good idea.
Replaced structure,
Replaced
yeah.
or
Updated.
significantly,
Significant
so
updated,
it's over 50% or something?
yeah.
Is that hard to do?
Yeah, for 50%. We're looking at new units added to the town.
Yeah,
So do we care if it's been replaced or?
yeah. Yeah, yeah, it's a good question, is what's the goal of the section? What are we trying to describe?
That the town is growing.
Mm-hmm. Now, is it,
But it hasn't if we're just replacing it, right?
Well, it has grown some.
Yeah.
I went through, probably about 2 years ago now, I guess Lisa Kale had asked me how many empty lots were in town, and she thought there was maybe a handful. And there really are approximately, if you look at double lots that could be split and everything, there's about 120.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and some of these now are gone. I should
Right.
go back and look at it again. But the town can still there's still potential to grow. There's still some lots and
That's true.
such to develop, so.
Because we've been subdividing lots, the one lot into two lots.
The bigger lots, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, some of them, some of the older ones, like, we did Walczek's recently because he had a big house in the middle of it, and I know the house, the one next door sold. I don't know if that's one lot or
Yeah.
I think that's two lots, but it's one ownership, so that may come up.
it's also growth if you replace it's not growth in number of houses, but it's growth if you replace like an old 2-bedroom house with a 6-bedroom house, which
That's
is,
true.
Well,
That's
that's
very
what
true.
most of these, you can
Are.
guarantee that
Point.
these
Yeah.
are all much bigger structures.
so it's certainly representative growth in population, or at least summertime population or something, so,
Sure.
I don't know.
Bigger house, more people.
I don't know that it needs to be listed here, but it seems a little bit, like Susan, you were saying, it could be a negative in 2020 if you don't list those things, but that's not really reflective of what's happening, I guess.
Well, yeah, because 16 little houses were torn down, but 15 large ones
Yeah,
were constructed. I don't know how I got a -3
but
there, but.
if we title it housing, it's not population.
right,
But this is not, this is just talking about housing growth.
yeah.
Right.
So I don't know how
Yeah,
to.
maybe a sentence or two explaining that housing growth in Bethany is,
Has been looked at from multiple perspectives.
there's two different things. One, it's adding a new house, and two, it's
It's replacing.
It's
replacing an older house.
Well, this whole thing, because it's,
That needs to be noted.
yeah,
It needs to be
well, the
noted.
charts have to be looked at,
Yeah,
but it says the national economic downturn, it's talking about to 2016, and coming slowdown, the housing market has been evident in Bethany Beach through a dramatic decrease in the number of new housing construction. But that's not true anymore.
yeah.
So when we change this table, what's our starting point? Do we want to go from 2016, housing has picked up, and go from there forward, or? I mean, how is this table 11 changed? And I would just put all the new housing in there to show that they're building. That's what this is showing.
Yeah, I think that has to be updated, because it's not.
What
re-
year,
It's not real anymore. I mean,
do we want to go back to 2010?
No, could we start from 2017? I mean, we have a chart that takes us up to 2016, and just for continuity's sake going forward, then start from 2017 to the current. That would be roughly 5 years. You could take it from 2017 to 2022.
yes.
I mean, well, I can't take it to 2022 because I don't have anything built in 2022.
Well, you could just be
Or through
TBD.
2020.
Through, yeah, through 2020.
2020 would be the last year you have
Data for.
full data for.
Right, because
Yeah.
this year's
Yeah.
not completed. But I think we can, that's 4 years. So we'll just take it back to maybe just 2015, and we'll go 2015 through 2020.
Okay.
Yeah,
And then we have to change this whole paragraph
yes.
above, saying, you know, you could say there was an economic downturn between 2007 through 2016, but Bethany Beach has recovered and
Right.
buildings at an all-time high. Has rebounded, I don't know.
That's an impressive year, yeah.
You're from the future.
Way in the future.
I would, take out well, this trend, I'd say ended,
This trend ended.
through,
Right.
this year. Economy rebounded, recovered. And yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, just leave it at
Yeah.
that, yeah.
Yeah, rather than putting a date on it.
Okay, it's 5 after 11. Do we have a,
What ended here on
well,
on page
yeah,
30?
if we finish whatever we're talking about here, and we probably shouldn't
All right.
end it.
Can you change that? Yeah, you can change that.
Yeah, and I noted here just to recap
Okay.
that we'll update the housing numbers beginning with 2015 to 2020. And I'll make a note that we should begin
On page 31.
on page 31 with housing stock.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Well, that's very good. Susan, do you have anything in the pipeline coming to us?
Kinda. We have the Onifray property is currently going to the Board of Adjustment for variance for frontage. And they are proposing, they want to divide it into 2 lots. It doesn't have enough frontage because it's zoned R2. There currently is 2 driveways, there currently is 2 units on it. The Board of Adjustment is looking at practical difficulty, hardship, those kind of issues for that request. Once they determine that, and if they approve it, then it will come here for partitioning.
And we'll sign that to John. That's his favorite property.
I see the property is listed as on the market again.
It's on, yeah, I guess they're just, they're going to, I don't know if she's going to sell both lots or what. I don't know that she realizes she'll have to tear the house down in order to partition.
Yes.
But right now, it's going to Board of Adjustment, so.
And these
that may or
changes
may not-
have to be made prior to the sale of the property because it can't be grandfathered. Right? I mean, these proposals she's making.
No, no, if the Board of Adjustment determines that a variance is approved, that goes with the land.
All right.
Okay.
So yeah, she could sell it as potentially 2 lots.
I wonder what, I just noticed that the for sale sign went from one company, it's now Remax. I just wonder what they're advertising. I haven't checked.
I haven't looked it up. I don't know. Just,
That it?
I think so.
Anybody have any comments or?
Motion to adjourn?
Well, wait a minute, I was gonna ask Kathy if she'd like to say something.
Second.
Thank you.
That was good.
We have a motion and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
We're finished. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I think I'm going to sit with you next time.
Good
so it's
work.
easier for me.
Thanks, Scott. This works out well.
It really does. It really does. I'm happy we.
I mean, this really works out well.
Oh, no,
Fine,
that's yours.
get
I'm
it.
sorry.
Let's see my,
No, I got
my one daughter is borrowing my
I grabbed the wrong
computer
one.
to do some Zoom stuff. More, she's got more.
That's what they got us.